Here is our huge kale. We got this plant and we got one more right behind it. So we're gonna be harvesting this today. So all I'm gonna do is just take my scissors, go down into where the roots are, and trim as low as I can. I didn't cut all the way through. And there we go. Well, my bowl's definitely full, so I have to switch to a basket. And I still have all of this plant to trim down. So we're gonna transfer it to the basket. We have been gone for a week from this garden. And we've kind of neglected it before that, so this is a lot of weeds. But we definitely have a lot of plants growing. Mixed in this is watermelon. We have one growing. See if I can find it again. There it is. Hidden in these weeds right here. It's a nice watermelon growing. Definitely need to come out here and weed. It's going to be a project for this week for sure. These are 3 different pumpkin plants. They went all the way up onto our pallets over there. So really big plants. Right here is one huge pumpkin so far. Huge. Give you a comparison with my hand. Really big pumpkin. We got several other small ones in here. Got another big one up over here growing. These are sweet meat pumpkins. They are really good for preservation. I'm gonna try to pressure can them this year. So in this mess is tomato plants. You can see this one right here is dying, has some sort of disease. This right here is tomato plant, tomato plant, tomato plant. We got quite a few tomatoes, green tomatoes coming. You can see one right there. Another one right there. They're coming. It would definitely help if we weeded so they could get a little bit more proper sunlight, but we are going to be working on that here shortly. Here's a good tomato plant. Has quite a few tomatoes. Back here, we have pepper plants all through here. Here is a habanero, which I don't see. Oh, there is a pepper. There's a few peppers on there. Our jalapenos are doing really well. Got quite a few jalapenos on there. Quite a few on this one. We got some, I don't know which peppers these are. Maybe cayenne peppers. We got quite a few peppers coming on there. Got, I believe, a chili or banana, one or the other. Got quite a few peppers there. And then another jalapeno over here. We have homegrown from seed, and we have some that we purchased at a nursery because we were afraid we wouldn't get very much. And then we have our corn stalks, which are doing really well. We have in this front row, this is regular sweet corn. And then behind there, those are for popcorn. So we'll see how these do. We're starting to get little stalks in these popcorn. But the sweet corn, you can see on this one, they're nice and big. So we're going to be able to harvest that corn here pretty shortly. And then I need to do a little bit more research on this, but I think you just let this sit until it starts to die. Or basically the corn dries out. And then you just take off all of the kernels and save them for popcorn. And then back over here, we have some onions. It's amazing what cool weather does to your plants. Like these have all like really grown a lot. Same with our weeds, obviously. Right here we have some peas. Pull pull some weeds out while we're videoing. Got some peas right there. This plant's tipping over because it's getting a little bit tall. Then we have a ton of bean plants. I haven't seen any bean pods on here yet, on any of them, but they definitely have a lot of flowers. Like this one has all those purple flowers. So hopefully we'll be able to get some beans, especially with it cooling down. There's a few more up through there, all in this area where my shadow is. And then there should be another pea plant somewhere in here. Our peas didn't do too great this year. I think it's because we planted them late. But that is kind of the update on our garden so far. And then obviously the kale that we harvested. And I did forget, we did plant one basil plant over here. Right here, right under all the weeds. There is our basil plant, starting to go to seed. We didn't use it for a while. It was really small for a long time. But yeah, this kind of like doubled in size since we were gone. We'll see if it will continue to get bigger leaves, but with it going to seed, I don't know if it would be usable. Our basket is full, very full. And here is our 2 stalks. Cut down all the way to the very end. We'll see if they'll grow anything more for this year. They might not. But my plan is to take all this kale, clean it up really good, and then blanch it and freeze it. I like to put kale in my smoothies, use it in soups. So that is plenty of kale for us for a while. Alright, so I got a big bowl right here. Fills my whole sink. I probably could have just done it in the sink, but figured it'd be easier to do it in this bowl. And then in this bowl I just have hot water and then some vinegar. And I've just been cutting them in half, putting them in here, kind of letting them soak, kind of shaking them up, trying to get any bugs off, any little dirt particles or anything that way. And then from here, I will blanch them in a little bit of hot water, and then we'll put them in a bag and freeze it. I am going to freeze the stems. I'm going to chop them up pretty small and freeze the stems, and then do the leaves separate, because the stems are really good for things like smoothies. So that's the game plan. Alright, so I decided to start this batch a little bit differently. This is the first batch of kale that I washed. I first washed it in vinegar and hot water, and then I broke off all the stems and everything, pulled the leaves apart, and then I re-washed it in another thing of just another bowl of just hot water. And so I think I'm gonna just try to freeze it, see if it'll freeze without doing like a full-on blanch, because the water was really, really hot. So I'm hoping that that was enough to blanch it and that it'll freeze well. And so I just put it on this towel. I'm just kind of drying it. And then I'll rip it apart, do smaller pieces so it's not like big chunks like this. Do smaller pieces, and then I'll bag it up. Alright, so here is my kale stems. This is the size I'm going to be cutting them up in. Then I'll just put them in the bag and freeze them. Okay, with some of the kale, I went and made zuppa toscana, and I am really excited for this. I love this soup, and so it's fun that we get to use our own homegrown kale. And then this morning I also made a smoothie with it, so I'm very excited to have this kale on hand. Alright, so I finished harvesting the kale. I got 2 gallon-sized bags of the kale leaves. They are pretty smashed in there, so there is a ton in here in both of these bags. And then I got a gallon-sized bag and a quart-sized bag of the stems. Like I said, I'm going to use these for smoothies or blending up for putting into soups. And then this is more for like cooking like sausage and kale soup or zuppa toscana or whatever else. If I run out of the stems, I'll use these for my smoothies. And then I left a little bit in the basket for the chickens. These are ones that have a little yellow on them, or they have a ton of bugs on them. And I figured the chickens would enjoy that, so let's go feed the chickens.
Hi, goats.
What? The chickens are patiently waiting.
No more. They're all gone.
Okay, so update on the garden. We got the majority of it weeded. We can now see our watermelon plant. When I was weeding, the watermelon did get broken off, so we took that inside. It's probably not ripe enough, but that was a little bit sad. We got our pumpkin plant, multiple pumpkins in it. Got that one, got one back there, got a big one down in here, another few over there. Got all of our tomato plants through here. They were planted a little bit close, so they're kind of clustered together, and they're not in trellises, but they are starting to get some red tomatoes a little bit. That one's starting to turn red. There's a ton of green tomatoes on them for sure. And then we got all of our pepper plants here. We got quite a few peppers on them. See all these jalapenos on there. Got some, I believe, cayenne peppers here. Some Santa Fe peppers. And then these ones, these are supposed to be pumpkin spice jalapenos, so they're supposed to turn orange. We'll see if they do. And this one, I cannot remember what this one is. This really just looks like a regular jalapeno, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's supposed to be just a regular jalapeno. I was supposed to have 2 of these pumpkin spice, and so that's why I'm kind of wondering what this guy is, because this was supposed to be the other pumpkin spice jalapeno. So we will see on those guys. And then we got our corn. We did harvest some corn. We still have some weeds mixed up in here, but that is our update on our garden. There is our bean plants over here still, which we still need to weed around them. And our onion plants here. We do still need to weed around these bean plants, but it's all of the big leaf green plants that are bean plants. They are definitely spreading more and starting to get a little bit more flowers on them. Still haven't seen any bean pods. Looks like they're starting to be a little bit damaged by something. Turning a little brown and a little eaten at. Definitely could be some bugs eating these leaves, especially mixed in with all the weeds. There's some more mixed up in here. Like I said, we still have to weed around these guys, but we weeded quite a bit yesterday. You can see it kind of right here and right here. There's a little pod right there. This is the rattlesnake beans. So that's why it kind of has like that black spotting on it. So yeah, that is the update on our garden. I'm doing pretty good. It was nice to be able to get a lot of these weeds out of here. We let it get out of control for sure. But we had a busy summer, so we're just grateful that we have fruit that we will be able to harvest out of our garden at some point. And we'll keep you updated as we go.